one thing every creative person should know as they enter the business world is it's not about you.
It's about your client or your customer or your team.
Your focus.
Your actions.
Great executions.
Experience.
To make a difference. One of the best ways to get anything done is to collaborate.
You gotta really look for the right people to work with, and that means keeping your radar turned on constantly.
I immediately identify the people that I need on my team, all the different strengths that I need to get those ideas done quickly, and I go get them on board with the idea and get them excited about it so that we can move forward.
The best thing is to think big and act small.
Rome wasn't built in a day. That sounds really dumb, but
The tendency tends to be to make the single project bigger and bigger and bigger, and it never seems to get done. Attention wanes, and the people you're collaborating with become a frustration instead of a source of energy.
so having the patience just to even stick with a project is a lesson.
Don't worry about coming up with something that no one has thought of before. Just execute that idea better than anyone else.
You always have to give up something. So unless you're completely on your own and completely doing it for yourself, there's always going to be a certain amount of compromise or sacrifice.
The biggest mistake I make is not starting my company sooner.
I think I would have told myself to not try and fit in so much, not try and look up to people and try and become them. I think if I had been a bit braver, carved my own path, and found the right people to collaborate with early on, I could have cut a few years off my path.
As a creative, you are not in a black and white industry. You are in an industry of 1,000 hues of gray.
If you pretend to be something that you're not, you'll end up doing something that you do not like, and it will not last. Everybody has an opinion about design, about creative aspects, and you got to be ready to deal with that, and deal with that in a positive way.
When we started our own company, we knew what we wanted to do and we knew what we didn't want to do, and we stuck to it, and it's actually very difficult.
And once you set your focus, be willing to say no to projects that come in from the outside of that focus.
Just keep working it. To work on Sundays, work on Saturdays, and keep working until it's a lifestyle, not a job.
It's party less and work harder.
Go out and find something that matters. Go do something that you're really passionate about, that you can use your skills and your abilities to impact the world.
Just find the things that fascinate you. Keep pulling that thread, and all of that ends up steeping in you, and that ultimately, in effect, lends to your art.
It's absolutely necessary to have a dream, to have the finish line.
If you're only chasing the money, then you might not have that much fun along the way.
If you're not satisfied, then you can always look for a new job.
It's a cliche, but it's so true. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Okay, first thing you do after you graduate is stop and think. You don't just rush into a job. Do not think that the decision you make at that moment is going to mark your whole life. You can always change paths again in the future, but take some time to reflect and then try something.
You have to course correct. You don't know for sure, and it's going to take some getting it wrong and some exploration, and eventually you'll find a path that you want to dig deeper on.
Anything that you do, take note of shit you should have done better next time, like things that you need to pay attention to, things that you should never accept next time, what totally burned you out, and make sure never to do that again.
Take the time to learn those things. A lot of us, we put this pressure on jumping right into work right after college, or jumping right into college right after high school, and travel, see the world, read the newspaper, find out what's going on in your community, find out how you can take multiple entryways to your passion.
Things the class of 2010 should know is really the things about themselves. You don't have to listen to a lot of people. You don't even have to listen to advice. You have to find your own voice and know yourself.